rare that you get to connect with just other women advisors in general. I mean, more popular now, but we're still in the minority anytime you show up to events.
For me, this business is personal. It's not just business. It's very personal. We've all cried with a client, laughed with a client, celebrated with a client, attended funerals for a client.
Very, very, very smart people get overwhelmed with the idea of money or feel anxious about it or have all sorts of stories that we have to help them work through.
I think that's one of the most fulfilling things in this job is creative problem solving.
Hello, welcome back.
Hello, good to see you again as always.
Great to see you too. And welcome back to all of you to another episode of Living Richly with Curo. This is episode number 80. And my name is Anne McCabe. I am the CEO and a partner here at Curo Private Wealth. And I'm joined as always by my lovely co-host, Atricia.
Hello, I am Atricia Roberts, COO and a partner here at Curo. Thanks for coming back if you've been with Living Richly before or checking us out for the first time.
Yes, we appreciate all of you. And if you are just checking us out for the first time, our mission here at the podcast, as well as with what we do every day with our clients, is to educate, inspire, and empower you, and sometimes entertain you. We like making you laugh as well along the way on your financial journeys. And today we have a very special guest, one of the newer members officially of Curo, Jayne Di Vincenzo, another female powerhouse of an advisor. And we are super excited to have you, Jayne. So welcome to the podcast.
Yay.
Yay. All right. So before we get into our conversation, Jayne, with you, I thought I would read a little bit of your bio, and I'm going to keep it short because we like to maximize the conversation that we'll have with you. But we do want to give our listeners and viewers a little bit of an idea of who we are talking to. So Jayne has been in the industry for over 2 decades and is an avid reader, love that, and has a lot of formal education as well as lots of designations. She's got a few letters behind her name, which is fantastic. So she is a certified financial planner, CFP. She is also a certified estate planner and a chartered financial consultant, in addition to an accredited investment fiduciary. So, like I said, lots of investment in her knowledge and intellectual capital, which is fantastic. She is married to a lovely husband named Mark, who is a New York Times bestselling author. They have 3 daughters and a lot of pets. So we'll have to hear more about that. And Jayne is very involved in her community, lots of volunteer work and lots of giving back. So Jayne, welcome again to the podcast.
Thanks, Anne. Lovely to see both of you. I know it's been a whirlwind week or two, so nice you could sit still for a minute.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining us. So Jayne, we love anytime we have a female entrepreneur or any entrepreneur really on the podcast, we love hearing a little bit about what that journey was for you, because it's not every day that folks wake up and say, oh, I'm going to start a business today. So what was your entrepreneurial journey and why did you decide to start your own firm?
I'll try to give you the short version, but I'm 8 of 9 kids and I'm probably the bossiest. And there's a bit of an age gap between my brother and I. So I sort of feel like the oldest. And Anne, I think you've said that too. Sometimes you're sort of when everybody comes to you for advice and what have you. But ever since I was young, I just have had this streak where I really wanted to be in charge of something. So when I went to college at NC State in Raleigh, I studied business and knew that I wanted to go into financial services. I didn't know if that was going to be banking or investments, but I knew that this was a path that intrigued me. I felt like it was a man's world and they need to make way for more of us. And I guess I was just looking for the right opportunity to get enough experience under my belt to launch my own firm. So about, 2009, I launched a firm and it grew very quickly and it was a lot of fun. And I had multiple branches and lots of employees and a lot of stress. When I left that firm and transitioned to Kestra with my new practice, Fiduciary Edge Advisors, 5 years ago, I was looking for a partner and a little different structure and setup. So I came to Kestra with an eye on the future for my clients and for my practice, and was excited when I went to one of the many Kestra conferences when they talked about Blue Spring and the opportunity there to partner with some other advisors and make sure you had continuity for your clients and your staff and give them opportunity down the road. So I felt like it was a win-win. It's something I've been thinking about for several years and was excited when Anne and Atricia's names popped up and I got to know them, both of you, and was just really impressed. And I couldn't find anyone who could say anything negative about you. So
Oh,
I was like, this could be a match made in heaven, working with two very smart women who are in the prime of their career and are excited about growth, which it's hard not to continue to want to grow. So once it's in your DNA, I guess it's always there. So with this partnership, I just feel like there's more opportunity to grow our practice, our service to clients in Richmond, Virginia, and beyond, since we have clients in 20 some states. So I feel good about the safety net my clients have with additional team members to support them, and especially team members that have the same investment philosophy, focus on education, really care about your clients. And I love that you make that a real priority to take care of the whole person, and planning is a key part of that. So I just felt like there were so many matches, it was hard to think about this not being a good fit.
mhm. Agreed.
Yeah. It's rare that you get to connect with just other women advisors in general. I mean, more popular now, but we're still in the minority anytime you show up to events. So definitely when you connect to a woman advisor who's in your geographic area and runs and manages a practice in a very similar way that you do, has very similar styles for clients, it felt a little serendipitous.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And I loved one of the things Mark, who works very closely with Jane, one of the things Mark said really early on was when he started working with you, that it was hard for him to distinguish between when you were talking to a client and when you were talking to a friend. And I had the opportunity to come to one of your client events a couple of months ago, and I saw that firsthand. I mean, you hugging everyone and remembering key things that were going on in their lives and asking them questions. And it was just really clear that you have fantastic relationships with your clients and that you do care about them as humans over and above them as clients. And
mm,
we have very similar relationships with our clients as well. So it was really nice to see that in real life, in person.
yeah, it is nice. For me, this business is personal. It's not just business. It's very personal. Um, we've all cried with a client, laughed with a client, celebrated with a client, attended funerals for a client. I just, over time, we become sort of attached, like an extra leg on the family, that it's an honor and a privilege to be able to come alongside a client and serve in a role of a coach, a friend, a confidant, and just be able to research and give them good answers about things they never thought about, new ways of solving problems. I think that's one of the most fulfilling things in this job is creative problem solving. It's exciting to me when someone can throw a new problem at me that I haven't heard in 25 years, but it's very fulfilling, as you, I'm sure, both feel too, that when you get to solve a problem for someone, they come in stressed out and they leave like a weight's been lifted off their back. And I don't know, maybe you can share, and Teresa, a little bit about how you got in the business, because I'm hoping some of my clients will watch this and hear a little bit more about each of you. Um, they're probably bored hearing about me.
Yeah, absolutely. Teresa, you want to start?
Sure. So I never intended to be a financial advisor when I went off to college. I'm originally from Georgia. I went to Florida State undergraduate, and my goal at that time was to work for Coca-Cola, but in Latin America. So I majored in multinational business. I minored in Spanish, studied abroad in Costa Rica because I wanted to work on my Spanish. Like that's how committed I was to this vision of living and working in Latin America. And then some family changes happened, some death in the family that just altered sort of that vision of being able to live abroad. I knew I would have to be and need to be close to home. And so as I was approaching my senior year and not quite sure what the future was going to look like, I went to a career fair, and American Express Financial Advisors was one of the employers at the career fair, what we now know as Ameriprise, and they were recruiting students. I did have some financial services experience because my summer job in college was working as a bank teller for what was then SunTrust. So I said, oh, maybe this is something I could do. I always enjoyed that job. I had fun working in banks, really good with money, or at least counting it. Maybe not so much saving it and spending it at that time. So I entertained the conversation and very quickly decided that this is something I would want to pursue. I actually took the Florida insurance license exam before graduation in preparation for going into the industry. But what really excited me about the opportunity is that I would get the chance, possibly, to do something for people that was done and helped and served my family. So I lost my mother very young. And after her passing, my father started working with an advisor who put lots of tools and plans in place that served both me and my younger sister. We went to undergraduate debt free because of those decisions. We now have access to assets and different things. But all of those decisions were made, 20 plus years ago in a room with my dad and an advisor. So the idea that I could make that kind of impact on somebody's life was very meaningful for me. And so I decided that it's something that I wanted to commit to. So again, it was a windy road. I won't bore our listeners with that story, but again, eventually ended up with this practice back in 2017 and the opportunity to grow, to shape myself even as an advisor, to really lean in and learn and understand how important it is to add education and value to clients' lives, to be able to serve clients who may not have had experience with financial advisors in the past is really important to me. So while I'm very happy in the career pivot, I also am happy in how it just serves people in general. And so I get to do some, semi humanitarian work in the process of helping people make money.
Yeah.
Lovely.
And Atricia and I have a scary amount of things in common. We didn't meet until about 4 years ago, which people are shocked. I mean, even Jayne, you said like you and Atricia have only known each other, worked together for 4 years, because it seems like we've known each other for so much longer. But I too am from Georgia originally. And I too thought I was going to work in Latin America, not for Coke, but I studied economics, and then I minored in Latin American studies and Spanish. And I wanted to do more economic development in Latin America. So like World Bank, IMF, that kind of work. And I had a professor in college who convinced me that what I thought I would be doing was very different than what I would actually be doing. And so I too had to pivot for different reasons. But I was recruited by American Express Financial Advisors right out of college. And that is where I started my career. I then went to UBS, a large wirehouse investment firm, and then went independent originally in 2010. So started my own firm in 2010. And then fast forward, thanks to Blue Spring, which Jayne already mentioned, which is our parent company, was introduced to Atricia and our former partner who retired, Anne Marie. And we talked about working together. And like Atricia said, it's very hard to find other female advisors who are committed to serving clients and really caring about them and continuing to grow. So it was really a perfect match. But that is my windy path also.
crazy. I lived in Savannah for about 5 years, where Atricia's from, which is, I don't know how three ladies in Virginia and Maryland, anyway, launched out of
Have a Georgia connection.
Yeah, it's kind
They
of
do
wild.
the best St. Patrick's Day parade I have ever been to. I have to
Yes.
recommend that if you haven't done that. Um, yeah, so that's really wonderful to hear, and again, excited about the future. What future holds for our clients, and we're in very interesting times to say the least, in the markets, and things change all the time. So it's nice to have more people to bounce ideas off of and investigate and research different things that could impact our clients. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a blessing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Jayne, you may have already answered this in your initial remarks, but what do you love most about being an advisor?
Oh gosh, there are so many things I love about it. I love the friendships. I love problem solving. I love when someone comes to you and they're just think something's untenable. They can't possibly retire. They can't possibly help this person in their family. And you look at the numbers and you find a way to do it. It's just nice to be able to impact so many people within a family just by solving one or two problems for the person in front of you. So, and it's nice when they refer their children or their parents and their sister, and you're like, wow, I guess I'm doing okay as far as doing a good job for them, because your little plant sprouts all kinds of new blooms within that same family. So it's really fun being involved in families in a meaningful way with lots of different family members, where the stories that knit together and touch each other. There's a lot to love about this. I guess I've mentored about 25 or 30 young people in the industry and have seen some stay in the business. In fact, one recently joined the Kim team, which is crazy.
Oh, that's amazing.
Justin Hilo. So he was one of my mentees when he was in college, and he was one I thought had a lot of potential. So I was really glad to see he stayed in the business. But that's one thing that's been important to me, is to try to bring more people into the business, because there's such a need. So many people, I read about it every day in my news feed, are leaving the business, retiring, and there's not a lot of people, enough people coming in the front door.
Yeah.
So it's
Mhm.
wonderful. You guys are mentoring a lot of young folks on the team too, to see how rewarding this career can be, and how fun it is problem solving.
Yeah,
So,
we
Yeah.
talk a lot about how rewarding it is. It's a rewarding career in general, but especially for women. And so I think the three of us on this podcast are really committed to trying to show young women what a fulfilling career it is, what an accessible career it is. Because I think a lot of young women maybe don't think of being a financial advisor as a career. Maybe they don't think of themselves as being good at math or being good at numbers. And so they automatically kind of cross that off the list. But it's such a rewarding career when you can build these long-term relationships with clients. And to your point, Jayne, you can work with the next generation, and you also get to build wealth for yourself and for your family. And once you put in hours and you work really hard, you get some flexibility. Like, I don't want to say you get flexibility from day one, because all of us
yeah.
have to work very long hours to make it.
Right.
I think it took 20 years to have flexibility.
Yeah, I know. Same, same. I'm almost 20 years in this business, and I'm like, okay, I finally feel like I have a little bit of
I can go to
flexibility.
that
So
hockey game. Yeah.
exactly. I could go to the school events and I can be at the hockey games, but you do get to a point where you can, manage your calendar and your time, and you get flexibility. And you just, you get to help people with money, which is such an important thing. And it touches so many aspects of our lives. And even very, very, very smart people get overwhelmed with the idea of money, or feel anxious about it, or have all sorts of stories that we have to help them work through. So it is just such a wonderful career with so much opportunity. And you talk about the great wealth transfer that's about to occur, of like trillions of dollars. So the need for advice is only going to grow exponentially from here.
Yeah, and this business is so much more than just the numbers, right? Some days you are a coach, you're a behavioral therapist, right? You're a family therapist talking through, greater problems. It's so much more than just spreadsheets and crunching numbers, right? I think we get a bad reputation about being the finance bros of the industry. I always tell people you don't have to own a Patagonia vest to be a financial advisor, right? There are other ways to do this business and be really good at it.
True. Yeah. Good. Well, I hope someone listening to this thinks about it. They're graduating in May or December.
Yeah.
Like, pick up the phone and, do a little homework and see, talk to some advisors to see if this would be a fit for you. I think you'd be surprised at, like you said, all the opportunity there is. And to create your type of business, to work with the kind of clients you want to. There's just a lot of flexibility in designing a business that reflects your priorities and your values, so that you can work with clients that you guys share a lot in common. That's neat. Like I have a lot of animal loving clients. So that's, fun for us to talk about that and then get back to the money stuff or the family stuff. But it's nice when you can build a business that reflects your personal values and your interests.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point.
Yeah. All right, Jayne. Well, I can't believe we're already up to time here. But before we let you run, we always love to ask our guests what living richly means to them. This is the name of the podcast, and everybody has a slightly different definition of what that means. So what does living richly mean to you?
As I've gotten older, the definition of that has changed. And even though I don't like what I see in the mirror necessarily as I've gotten older, who I am on the inside as I've gotten older, I like more and more. And living richly to me is being able to, it sounds hokey, but nothing makes me happier than being able to help people in my family, my friends, my daughter's friends that are having financial problems or stress in their lives. It's just nice to be able to reach in and solve problems. And sometimes people don't even know you're the person who solved the problem. But probably living richly for me is just the opportunity to give back and maybe do that in subtle ways that we don't need to shout from the mountaintop, but it's just makes me feel like my purpose-driven life is to give back as much as I can before this life is over. I want to know that I've left a lot of ripples.
An impact. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
And by the way, you're gorgeous.
I was about to say, caveat.
What you're talking about looking in the mirror, but we get
Jayne
to
is
see
a
you
striking
and you're
woman.
Yeah. Just for the record, not only brilliant, but also gorgeous.
Beautiful and well dressed. Let's just talk about sharply dressed as well, which I always appreciate.
That's true.
You guys are lovely, lovely. Well, I need to get a new mug with both of your little cute faces on it. This is women.
Oh, I love it.
I did a women's speaking series every quarter in person, like a lunch. We'd have health or law or fitness or whatever. Different speakers come in. And anyway, so now we've got 3 wise women instead of 1. It's way better. 3 heads are better than 1.
Wow. Love that.
Oh, thanks. I really appreciate it. Nice to chat with you as always. It's always fun.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Jayne. And we're so looking forward to continuing to work with you and share ideas. You have some fantastic ideas, which we're excited about implementing just to enhance our client experience even more. So thanks again for joining us. And to our Curo folks, you'll see much more of Jayne and her team, Mark and Olivia. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you for sharing some of your time here today. We hope you have been inspired by something that you've heard. And until next Tuesday, live richly. Thanks again for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to subscribe and share it with someone who might benefit from it. Friendly reminder that this is for informational purposes only. For additional information, please visit us at www.curoprivatewealth.com. Until next time, live richly.